Hey guys, Buffalo here, coming at you with another shoot and talk style video. I kind of like to do these from time to time. Gives me a chance to relax and talk to you guys without having to worry about making eye contact with the video camera, and it certainly makes my editing a lot easier. I can just upload this video as is. But today we're going to talk about the Glock 19. I get a lot of questions about the 19 in my videos and the comments. I've never done a video on the Glock 19 simply because there's just so many videos out there on it. I didn't really feel like I had anything to add to the conversation, so I just kind of shied away from it. It's not that I couldn't get one or didn't have one. It's just that there's so much information that I didn't really have anything to add. But I do get questions a lot. I'll do videos on similar pistols, and they'll say, how does this compare to the 19? Or they'll have a question about, what size is this pistol compared to my Glock 19? Or I'm looking for a Glock 19. Is it in this category of pistol? So I do get a lot of questions about it, even though I've never done a video on it. So I thought I'd go ahead and do one and get that out of the way. But what we've got here is a medium size. They call it a compact, but it's a medium sized pistol. It's a good size for concealed carry, and it's also plenty big enough that most people can shoot it well. A lot of people have trouble shooting really small pistols. This pistol is just big enough to where you can get a good sight radius, and the recoil is absorbed by the pistol a lot more than a little small one, so it's easier to shoot. So it's right in that just right category as far as size. What I like about the Glock 19, and you guys that are looking for maybe your first pistol, there's no way that I've got any credentials to tell you what you should go get, and really nobody does without talking to you personally and getting your situation. But if you've made your mind up, you're wanting a medium size 9mm pistol, semi-automatic. One of the pluses to the Glock is aftermarket accessories. If you're out on the road and your holster busts on you, you'd be hard pressed to find a legitimate gun shop in this country that didn't carry holsters for a Glock 19. You could pretty much stop anywhere and get you one. If you buy something a little more oddball, you may have to order a holster and figure out a different way to carry your gun for a few weeks, or sometimes it takes 6 weeks for some of these holster companies to get one out. So that's one big plus to me, and it's something I always look at, whether I'm choosing a rifle for hunting or a shotgun or whatever. I like to see a gun that's got a lot of aftermarket following. I also like to tinker with my guns a little bit, so it's nice to have that aftermarket to fall back on for parts. They are a standard capacity of 15+1. If you live in a free state that hasn't been overrun by liberal Democrats just yet. I hear from you guys, once a week, sometimes daily, that live in these states where your rights have been stripped away, and these people have passed laws that give the criminal the upper hand. And I can't wrap my mind around that way of thinking. If you want to cut me off to 10 rounds or 7 rounds, you're doing nothing to the criminal. He's already breaking the laws anyway. So I just can't understand that. But, I feel bad for you guys that live in those states. The standard capacity, 15+1. We will shoot it here a little bit. I probably should have warmed up. I'm not the greatest shooter. I'm not trying to put on a shooting exhibition of any sort here, but I should be able to hit a few of these targets. Of course, slide locks back on the last round. Unless you're like me, I'm bad about riding that slide lock with my thumb, so a lot of times it won't lock back for me, but that's a bad habit I've created on my own. Nobody's fault but mine. You can also use, with the Glock pistols, any 9mm double stack magazine that fits a pistol this size or larger. So like the 17, for example, this is for a Glock 17. This is actually a Magpul PMag, but it's made for a Glock 17, which is a 17 round magazine, and that it's handy to carry as a spare. It does stick out the bottom, so it might cause you to print if you're carrying this, say, inside the waistband. That sticks out, but does make for a great spare magazine. Or what I use them for mostly is just fun on the range. Less mag changes to go through and more ammo to burn. Let's shoot again. Let's see. Try that little one. It gives me fits sometimes. So like I say, and the slide didn't lock back that time. If you notice, it's because my thumb's on it. I am working on that. It's a bad habit I've created. I didn't always shoot that way, and it's something I started doing recently I need to break myself from. But anyway, if you want to have some real fun, pick up a Glock 18 magazine. You know, hold 31 rounds, plus I've got a +2 plate on it, so I get 33 rounds in my magazine. You notice when you've got that big heavy magazine in there full of ammo that the gun doesn't seem to recoil as much. It's still recoiling just as much, but it's being absorbed more by the weight of the gun. Man, I love the sound of that steel. That little one doesn't ring very good. There we go. We got locked back that time. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to get out here and show that I can shoot that great, because I can't really. But you get the idea. It's a lot of fun to shoot. I actually, believe it or not, spend more time shooting at the range for fun than I actually do shooting people in self-defense. So, you know, wrap your head around that. But anyway, if you're wanting my opinion on the Glock 19, and there are many other, you know, I understand Glock wasn't the first to come up with the polymer pistols. They weren't the first they weren't even the first striker fired pistol. But nobody will argue that they didn't bring the design mainstream. So they brought it mainstream, and they have been copied many times. You know, almost every major manufacturer now has a Glock style pistol. They say being copied or imitated is one of the greatest forms of flattery. So that alone should tell you something about the Glock pistols in general. So in my opinion, if you're out and you're debating getting a Glock 19, you should go ahead and get it. If you're already looking that direction, go ahead and get one. It's just, it's a great pistol to have. Excellent reputation for reliability. Easy to shoot, simple to operate, easy to take down, clean. That's really all I got to say about it. Just get you one. I'll talk with you guys again soon.